Hello, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Oh, I forgot to move the microphone. Just a second. I'm so sorry. I forgot to move my microphone, so let me put it back. Me and this microphone, man. That better? I feel like that's the one thing, man, I'm always failing on is the sound, you know. Hi, Malin. How's it going? Good evening. Could you even hear me when it was over there? You could probably hear that a little bit, huh? I have to move it. I hate that I have to move it every time, physically move it, because, you know, it's like one more thing. And I know I'm going to forget. Hi, Terry. Ooh, you finished your denim jacket? That's amazing. I know. I totally understand that feeling. I've still been tinkering with mine. Like, I just was sewing on it before I went live on the cuff. Hi, Louise. How's it going? And every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I really love this, you know? And it's funny because I don't really like stiff things, you know? But I love sewing that kind of stuff. So totally understand. I can't wait to see it. I hope you tag me in it or something. I'd love to see it if you post a picture of it. So that's so cool. This weekend, I was just trying to think, like, I think I need to have some fabric goals when I go to the fabric store in Santa Cruz because, I mean, I'm pretty good at buying fabric. Happy birthday! Wow, we're like 2 weeks apart. That's awesome. Do you do something special on your birthday? Like, you've heard my whole thing. I used to always sew on my birthday. Now I'm sewing every day. I mean, like, for me, sewing for me, you know. But I was thinking, like, when I go to the fabric store, maybe I'm going to look for printed denim or printed canvas. So, yay! I'd sing for you, happy birthday to you. I don't know if your birthday song is the same in your country. It could be a little different. All right, so, hi, Amanda. How's it going? I'll wait a few minutes before we get going. Let me clean my glasses. I've been playing this new little cat game on my phone. I used to be really addicted to the Neko Atsume cat game, and then I just found this other one, and I shared it with my sister and mom, and they're like, "Thanks a lot." Now I'm really hooked on it, and it's really simple, and it's kind of nice because I'm trying to be off of my phone more, and I'm actually doing really good at that. I was never very over the top with my phone use anyway. But I just find that I don't know. I feel like I'm going on there for no reason at all. And I'm like, I just checked Instagram. Why am I checking it again? Same tune, different words, yeah. And this is kind of fun because I don't mind feeding cats and petting them and making coffee drinks for people. You know, and then I don't check Instagram. So terrible, right? It's really just like when I'm between games at night or just waiting around for something. I try not to just go on my phone for no reason at all. I'm like usually the only one in a waiting room not on my phone, just kind of looking around. I just try to make it a point not to always be on it. Try and remember that life before we had phones and the Google and internet, you know? Because I remember that world. We're like the last people who remember that world. It's so weird, you know? I know people younger than me kind of remember it, but not like we do. Like we lived it, you know? And then and our parents for sure, you know? So anyway, how are you guys doing? Are you guys working? What are you doing on your birthday, Malin? Hi, Siobhan. Yay. Oh, I fold laundry when I watch streams all the time. In fact, I'm like, I used to hate folding laundry until like the last year. Now I'm like, ooh, I could go watch someone play a game while I fold laundry. Most people are like, I'll just watch TV, but I don't know why. I just don't. I can't just stop a show, you know, like I want to keep going. The stream, I do feel a little bit like I might be missing something, but honestly, it's the same old stuff, you know? It's just more of a background noise, just like you guys use me for. So, hi Rachel. Oh, you guys, I got business cards. I don't know why it didn't even occur to me to get business cards because I hardly ever handed them out at Chicken Boots. But it is kind of handy, and lately I have been running into people. So I kept them really simple. Let's see if you can see them. They're pretty pale, but can you see? I kept it really simple. But on the back, I put each one has a different cover from my streams, which was really fun to do. There's like 20 different ones, so that's kind of cool. And it just says, "I like to sew, and you can watch." I don't know if you can read it though. You're a lot of sewing today. You're finishing. Oh, you're gonna finish your Cali dress. Ooh. Oh wait, I know the Tello jacket. I've heard of that one. You take the day off, so sewing, Amanda. No, awesome. Yeah, they turned out good, didn't they? I'm excited. I didn't put my phone number on them, which to keep it uncluttered. But now I'm kind of like, you're just gonna have to write your phone number on there, Sarah. But I didn't get very many, so. Thanks. You need a business. I know. I've been like taking the little cartoon drawing of me from that Hannah did, and I've just been putting it on everything because I think it's really cute. Yeah, you can actually, Louise, a lot of people use these as playing cards. I get them made at a place called Moo, M-O-O, like a cow noise, Moo. And you can do a different design on the back of every single one. They're a little bit pricier, but they're really nice. I like the rounded corners too. And I like the feeling. And I just got the basic paper, matte, stuff like that. I can refer you. You can get a discount, I think, if you let me know. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, so. Yeah, I didn't really know what to do, Malin. I'm not a graphic artist. I tried to keep it really simple. I'm like, okay, you really need these quick, so just get it together, Sarah. You know? So I just kept it really simple. I should get them out of the way here. But I know. It's like when you have different backs, though, then people might be like, can I have a few? You know? I just feel like it's, a lot of people use them for portfolio. Like Moo's really good at showing you lots of ways to use business cards. And you know what, you guys, I will tell you, one thing you guys might like from there is that they have mini cards, which are, they're like, I want to say they're about a 1/2 inch. They're about a 1/2 inch big. And what I've used them for is, yeah, they really are great. What I use them for is when I gift someone something I've made. On the back, it has like, this is made by me. And then I have a space for writing the washing instructions. And then I just punch a hole in it and I tie it with a piece of yarn to it. So kind of like just like a little reminder, hey, this is handmade and this is how you wash it. And you don't have to design the cards you don't have to be like, have a graphic thing, because they have tons of stuff you can use. And that's what I did on mine. I got like a little deck of them. There's like 200 of them in there. I'll have them for forever. They were really cheap. And I just used like these botanical backgrounds, and I just kept adding them and adding them. So all of them are really different. So, so you might be able to color coordinate it with your makes. So and I forget I have them. So, but I haven't been selling for other people very much, or knitting. I'll try and remember. I need to start writing down the things I need to remember when I'm here. So, because I feel like I'm failing you guys all the time. I'm like, oh, I told them that I would do that, and then I forget. So let's keep a list. So I'll bring in my little mini Moo cards. They're at home with all my knitting stuff. I am making the Upton dress today. Megan's like, let's get on to the sewing, man. I'm making the Upton dress, but it's actually, I'm making a solid red dress. Woo, that's bright. And I'm lining it with the bikes. Kind of funny, I know. I've been trying to make it casual, but I just don't think you can make a red dress casual. You know what I mean? Well, Siobhan, you know what I mean? Like I I feel like I'm always like, okay, what kind of how-tos do you want? Then I'll forget what they are later on. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll ask them what that was, and I can't remember. So if I have a list, I'll actually do everything on the list. So, you know. So now I just need to remember to have a list every time. So otherwise I have to go back and watch the stream, and watching myself is, it's hit and miss watching myself. You know what I mean? Okay, so we are making the cashmerette today, and I read through the instructions. This is a very straightforward make, very classic dressmaking. If you are a beginner and you want to up your sewing, this is a good, really, really good pattern for that, because you are going to get some really, like, you're going to realize you know how to do all these things. And she does one of my very favorite tricks that I've been looking for something to show you guys this trick, and you guys might already know it. And it's how she clean finishes the armholes and the neckline all in one. I've told you about it before. And in the pattern making world, it's called a one-piece facing. And this is, but it's with lining. Red linen would be very casual. Yeah. So, and the Brussels linen is 70% rayon and 30% linen. Right? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's what my plaid is. My plaid for my tea house dress is 70% rayon and 30% linen. Okay, so I forgot to look up my Brussels linen stuff, so sorry about that. I just was like, oh, I know that content. No, I don't know that content. Yeah, so anyway, like if you are, like you've sewn a few things, this dress is totally within your range. It's very size inclusive if you're over a size like 40 bust and up. I'm at the very bottom size, which I think is pretty cool. That like because she had another dress I really wanted, and I didn't make the cut, and I felt like, you know what, I deserve that as being someone who's always gotten my size in patterns, So I thought that was pretty funny. Like she has the opposite issue, and it's not an issue at all. So anywho, so the first step is you're gonna trim your neckline and your armholes about 1/16 of an inch. And this is kind of like, when I talk about undercollars and how undercollars are a little bit smaller, this is creating that kind of thing. I have to use a weight on my table like this. I know it seems real big overkill, but because otherwise my mat will slide because my table is so smooth. So just trim off a little. Okay. Trim off a little bit like this. Don't forget this step. And the reason you do this, especially because my lining is completely different than my outer fabric and very noticeable, that'll help it stay to the inside of the garment, because this style of sewing for this one-piece facing type of treatment, you have a lot of trouble understitching. This is the lining. Yeah, Louise. Yeah, so you trim the lining a little bit. So you want to stack them up, one right on top of the other. Yeah, I know that's not 1/16 of an inch, but I'm not worried about it. You do the neck and the armhole. I'm doing the V-neck. I'm doing a straight up view B. So the gored skirt and the V-neck. I had someone comment that they want me to put my blade away all the time, and so I'm sorry if I make you guys nervous. I think like when I look at the video, I can tell like the perspective is really warped for you guys. Like this, like, my camera is way up here, So sometimes it might look like my hand is closer to something than it really is. So it was really stressing her out. And this is a really awkward angle. I always recommend, like, when you're cutting out a pattern, you always want to cut with your blade towards the pattern and the garment. When you're trimming something off like this, though, you can't see what you're trimming off. So it's better to trim off with the excess to the left of the blade, what you can see. You want to be able to see what you're trimming. All right, so now we're set. Well, I'm not sure my iron's on. We'll see. So this is gonna be kind of the quick sew. I'm gonna try and drag it out a little bit, but hopefully I don't jinx myself and get into all kinds of trouble now that I've said that. Okay, so we have our front, our back, and then our lining pieces. First thing you're gonna do, and you need your waistbands right here. I don't really need this, or this piece of paper. I got rid of the little like sticky thing right there, so I know my envelope doesn't want to stay shut, but that's okay. Okay, so this is, so what you do is you do your darts, and then you put your waistband on, and then you sew the shoulders. So I'm just gonna stack these up the way you sew them. So this is my, oh, I just lost a pin. No. It goes right here, but I don't know which one's the dart yet. Let's see. This is the back. I'm very cavalier with my things, I know that. Okay, so we use this one, and there we go. Alrighty, so this is the back, that's the back, this is the front. Alright, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can detect a right or wrong side. With the plain weave linen, it's going to be pretty tricky. If I were a weaver, maybe, but there's not really like a purl side, you know, with a plain weave. All right. Oh, I know why I had this out, because we have a little curve here. So you know what we could do is let's trace a little pattern piece here. Like this. Let's see, I could cheat and get my tracing wheel out, which would make a nice little perforated mark right here, but I know you guys don't have that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of fold it along this little line here. Kind of keeping the dart on there. You know, I could not get my Instagram feed to refresh. You guys having that issue too? Like I've seen that the same posts that I saw last night are still on my feed. And now this way I can just use this as a little template and then use my chalk. Since it has this little curve in it, it's not like a standard dart. I don't think she really talks about this in the instructions. But I'm going to sew it the way the lines were on there, because otherwise I don't know why they'd be on there like that. So I'm going to line this up with my notches right there, and I put the point right there. I didn't mark the waist, so it doesn't matter. I can just use the point. Like that. So Malone, are you gonna have birthday cake or what's your treat? You think that's what it is, Siobhan? I updated the app and then I restarted the app a few times, but I didn't want to stop feeding my kitties. I'm gonna leave this in the pattern envelope for the next one I make, right? All right, so I'm gonna line up my notches, fold it along that center line. I'm gonna backstitch at the waist, but not at the top. I'm gonna just sew right on that little curve. And I'm sorry I reposted that the bias binding thing on stories. I don't know how to do it, and I want to save it as a highlight. I'm trying to get better about stories. I'm learning. All right, let's do this other one here. I know that's a duplicate post, but you know, that's the only way I could figure out how to do it. I need to put my pie right there so I stop reaching across, you know. Ooh, rhubarb crumble. But you're gonna make it yourself. I have definitely made my own birthday cake because I was like, this is what I want. My mom is really good at like making us all feel pretty special on our birthdays. Last year, she did this whole Harry Potter themed birthday for me. It was over the top, you guys. She made a Hedwig owl cake that was standing like up, like so she was holding it in a little Hedwig. She wore her Harry Potter outfit. She had made this Hufflepuff vest, which was really cute. She put lightning bolt tattoos on all of our foreheads. Every time I see the photos from that day, I'm like, why does my forehead look so irritated? And it's just because it's like this reddish lightning bolt tattoo. She's the cutest. She's like a big kid in the best possible way. And there was all kinds of stuff. And then this year she did get me a plant that looks like a mandrake. And it really does. I might bring it to work here because the light's so good here. Yeah, my mom is really awesome. I don't know if you're in the knitting world, Malin. I think you are. But do you follow Clara Parks? She makes rhubarb syrup every year about this time. And she uses it in mixed drinks, I think. Just thought. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that prefer pie over cake. I love pie. I like tarts, like fruit tarts, you know. I usually just poke the pin in like this so I can get pretty close. I don't backstitch. I just go to the tip. This way I don't have this big old backstitch right there, and if I have to take it out, it doesn't leave a mark, you know. Lots of darts on this one. This is the first thing every sewer needs to learn is darts. No, I don't actually say things like that. But if you have sewn a few things and you haven't sewn darts, that's pretty amazing. But I feel like that's because dressmaking nowadays it's like there's lots of, how do you put it? Like it's not always this classic style, you know what I mean? All right, I'm going to put the waistband on here and then I'll press it. I know I should press it first, but I'm just going to do this so that I don't have, because I have a lot of pattern pieces sitting on my table right now. Why does this look like, oh, there we go. So there is a little bit of errata on this pattern. If I don't know if they reprinted it, but mine had some. And that is, if you're making the view I'm making with the gored skirt, the smooth skirt without the pleats, the skirt has 5/8 inch seam allowance on all pieces except for the center back seam. So just note that. The rest of the pattern has 1/2 inch seams. Why is that so funny? Push the darts towards the center front. This is good. There's this waistband. It's going to kind of hold this linen a little bit more accountable to keeping its shape. Which reminds me, I need to put in a stay stitch around the neck here. And let's see, I'm going to put it just inside that 1/2 inch mark. She's pretty clever in that she says to do your stay stitch from top down on both sides to the center. So we'll do that. And that is smart. Like I've told you guys, when you go down one side and then if you go up the other, you may end up getting a little bit of shifting. So this does help maintain your symmetry. Like that. So that's just the stay stitch for the neck. You need to do that on all pieces. Yeah. You get started. Exactly. Rhubarb syrup. Yeah, right? Oh, yeah. I know the crumbles are a little bit of work, aren't they? All right, let's do the stay stitch on this too. I'm doing the V back. Do our notches. This is our darts. The dart, I am definitely intrigued by a dart in the back shoulder for a tank style, you know, like a sleeveless top. I'm kind of intrigued by this. I don't think I've ever seen a dart in a tank style back. You were taught to do stay stitch that way, Louise? That's funny. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it. It's very smart. Especially with a V-neck or a big scoop like that. Because that's when you have the greatest chance of the bias getting a little bit stretched out. I am excited for my sewing class. I have a hair or fuzzy. And did I tell you I'm taking I'm gonna take a class too. It's on June. Mine is on June 28th, which is a Friday night. So you guys will hear the next day how it went. It's like from 5 to 9 p.m. on a Friday night. Ida, that's hilarious. Let's see here. Maybe she's just trying to get her family to do some part of her birthday thing. Yeah, so I'm taking a quilting class on, I think it's FPP, which someone on my Instagram said that's freezer paper piecing. And I've heard the term EPP, which is English paper piecing. I don't know. I don't really know. I just really wanted to see like the yeah, for that willow tank, you're right, Siobhan. It's just like they're like, yeah, typically we schedule it for like this amount. I don't really think they need to like, I don't think it's gonna be 4 hours because I'm making them cut it before they get there. So, but I'm really curious. I really want to see what quilters do. I feel like there's this divide between quilters and sewers, which I don't understand why. They're both extremely skilled, and they both use sewing in a completely different way, and they both use like tricks the other could probably benefit from, you know? And so I'm kind of curious to see what kinds of tricks I learn. That's what I thought, Cass. It's foundation paper piecing. She said freezer paper piecing, and I was like, what? But maybe she's talking about the particular quilt I'm doing? I know, Siobhan, I will be exhausted. I'll be exhausted even if there's 2 students because that's a lot of social interaction for me. I think I said like 8 students because I have a feeling a lot of the students that come. Wait a minute. Is that really where that is? But my dart's over here. Double checking. I think that they, yeah, see, both quilts and clothing. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, quilting is its own amazing thing. Oh, this is really red. That better? I feel like I need to put this on the, to tone it down. Does that help at all? Yeah, I know, right? People talk about freezer paper all the time. Hi, Olivia. How's it going? And she's on Twitch. I needed to like do certain like things on Twitch to achieve something within 30 days, and I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I'm not really trying very hard, so I have to admit. All right, wait, where's my I just want to look at the back for that dart. That dart looks fishy. And hopefully it's just me. It looked like when I folded the dart so it looked like it would torque. And I just say no to torquing. I caught him. I keep meaning to make this. I want to make a hanging pocket thing for all my patterns to hang on my rack here. All right. I mean, I know I just did this yesterday. Maybe I picked the wrong. Oh, I see the issue. The point didn't get graded. Why didn't the point get graded? See, look at that point. Point didn't get graded. So let's see. So, I mean, I don't really want to guess, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, right, Amanda? Yeah, right, exactly, Siobhan. I think it'll be okay. I mean, mainly because a few people that I know there, some, you know, like some fellow sewist friends are like, I'm going to take your class. And I know they know how to make garments. And I know they know how to sew, you know. That's why I was like, I think 8 will be okay. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I really could be wrong here, but see how this dart is going at an angle? Can you guys see that? Let's see. Let me make it straight for you on the camera. Do you see that it's going this way? So if I were to sew this, let me just show you. So if I were to do this, it kind of lays flat. It lays flat. It looks like it wants to torque a little bit. That's what I'm worried about. It's a funny angle to go this way. Usually your dart is on grain. on the waist, you know? So like, I feel like the point should be more along the line of like right here. It's right here. I think it should be right here. I'm gonna change the redness. It's so red. Let's see if I can do, here, let's move you out of the way so I can see what happens. So watch your eyes here. I'm gonna change the white balance a little bit. Boy, I can't get like 3, 2, 3. Oh, I just said cancel. Why'd you put it back? Now this is the thing, is like you unclick something and then click it and it doesn't really do anything. It's a little better. Is that a little better? It's so hot, you know? You can see my pen at least. Okay, so there's the point. I feel like it should be right around here. So if I were to do this, like here is my notches. Here's the center right here. And if I were to do like a, this isn't how all darts are, but see what I mean? It would be more like this. And this point should be grading because unless I don't know. I haven't seen this one sewn up in front of me. So I'm actually gonna see what happens if I mark it right there and see what happens when I fold the dart there. Maybe I won't like it. Yeah, exactly, Louise. It's the back. I know, Milan, right? That's what I would do. It's the back. It's not incredibly, it's not my best, but see, ooh, that looks way better to me. I'm doing it. You guys can learn from me. I may be making a mistake here, but this is what I'm gonna do. So. Sorry, Kashmir. I'm not doubting you. I'm just going with my instincts here. Yeah, so if it had been here, it would have been like it would have been like this. Not a bad, not, you know. We'll see. If I could fit it onto 2 people, you know. Wait, is this the, did I do this one? I did this one, huh? See, I can see kind of why, and it's because usually these darts do this kind of thing, and mine doesn't. I'm gonna look at my dress form. Now, mind you, my dress form is dinky. She's super dinky. So let's see here. Remember, she's dinky. I think Kashmir's looks better. As far as like the way it lines up there, you see that? So let's go with hers. The worst thing is when a dress form falls over. All right, so let's take this one out, right? Yeah, let's take this one out. I need to like look back at my like I honestly can't remember, you know. How do I pick my patterns? Do you mean like to sew here on the stream? For this one, I let you guys suggest it. So we're doing a really casual sew along this month of dresses. And so instead of just picking one, I had everyone nominate a bunch of dresses. I looked them over. So I did have a little bit of input because what I was looking for was something that I felt would appeal to a lot of people, but I went by the votes. So I culled the list a little bit because a couple of them I was like, okay, that one's hard to get. That one is, you know, it was just like, I took a few off the list, okay, basically. And then I put it up for a vote on Instagram. And then I took the top two that were like, you know, size 0 to 18. And then we did a curvy round as well. And then I took the top two of the curvy. And so I'm sewing 4 this month based on what you guys wanted. So, okay, so just in general, when I'm shopping for something new, like a new pattern, for me, I do look at, if I've heard of the company before, then I look at the hashtag. So I look for a style I like, and for me, I'm very much a straight up hourglass. So I need something that will accommodate both bust and hips. And then I decide like, okay, well, how does that fit people? I have to sneeze, sorry. Hi, Christy. Excuse me. Do I have the same tattoo? No, I inherited her. I know, isn't it terrible that they graffitied her? It's kind of a bummer. It really takes away from, it's very distracting, you know? It's kind of a bummer. Someone's put a lot of time on it. They probably should have been doing their homework. So I look at the hashtags, Megan, very closely to see if someone with my body style, maybe not my size, if someone my size, that's great. But, you know, it's not like we post all our measurements every time. Thank you. Sorry, forgot I sneezed. If I say, excuse me. I look for that. There are a few brands that I just trust straight up, you know, like Colette and Grain Line are the top 2 for me of the indie pattern drafters. I don't make any bones about that. And then there's a few others that I like, but I know I'll have to make a few changes. I like Closet Case for the most part too. I feel like they're up there as well. And then from there, if I haven't heard of the designer, I look at the hashtags for sure. And then I look at the envelope. I can kind of tell by the way they give the information too if I'm like, you know. So I'm not only just looking for a cute style, I really want to make sure that the pattern is going to fit. It's the pattern drafting you're buying. Because even if it's a cute style, if it doesn't fit well or doesn't go together well, you're just going to be frustrated and, you know. So, let me make sure my iron can turn on here. Let's see. No, let me plug it in. Okay. I'm doing as much red as possible because I need to switch to white for my lining. I would totally sew some of those big the big companies, Megan. Truthfully, I just don't shop at the fabric store that sells them. That's why. So one of these days I just need to go in there, sit down and look at the patterns. If you have a recommendation though, please, feel free to give it. We're all like up for whatever here. So, I think I'll start doing a bunch of pattern drafting streams soon too. It seems like that's kind of the information you guys are interested in as well. And then I won't have to be always cutting and sewing, which I love to do, but I don't need, 10 more dresses. So I'm going to start trying to put myself out there for some sponsorships. But I'm going to be pretty low-key about it just because, I don't know. People seem pretty shy about what I'm doing, Probably worried I'm going to throw them under the bus or something. This is just something so foreign to what we're used to. So, just got to let it percolate for people. Okay, so I'm doing the waistband. So this is the back waist. And the reason I knew that went like this is because I know that the, oh, maybe it doesn't, but it lines up. See, this is straight right here. Why is that going like that? I did that right? I know I need my back to be straight. Let's see the front. Here we go. Look at all these long threads. You only sew, oh, you guys commented a bunch. You only sew indie patterns. Yeah, I feel like that's all I've been doing too. I used to only do that before them, Yeah, I like pattern drafting. I am seeing this whole the whole sizing thing just blowing up on Instagram, and it's so sad. Some of people's reactions, and I wish I had a graphic artist that I could definitely 100% trust to see my projects through. And knew what to do and knew how to put together the instructions, because I would write all the information, I would give them a rough layout, all that stuff. I'm having to do all that. I would totally probably get into clothes pattern drafting. I got to do my chicken boots ones first because I promised that. But yeah, it's here's the deal, you guys. When you hear companies say, I can't grade up, it's that's a whole, that's an area I don't understand. I don't know that sizing. Okay, that's a pretty flimsy argument, first of all. It's all the sized people of the world just suddenly appeared, right? We've been here for forever, So it's not like there aren't people to measure. If you didn't have the information available to you on the internet, which we all do, it's all there. There's countless books on grading and sizing. There's countless amounts of information on the internet. There's countless curvy people out there giving the information, and there's people to measure, right? The information is there. So what is the issue? Is it that you don't want to put in the effort? You don't like your design on that body type? That's two different things. So, this is a very opinion-based, this is my opinion, you guys. But the thing is, two parts. In garment making, knitting is different. I am not a knitting designer. I don't know what that would take. That kind of, I know, what it would take to do the grading, but I don't know how to design a knitting pattern, right? But in sewing, say you designed a blouse and you were like, I love this blouse and I really want it to be a home sewing pattern. If you found a pattern drafter to take your pattern and make it all trued up and sewing really well, then you can find another person, a subcontractor, to put it into the computer, digitize it, and grade it for you. And guess what? It costs about $9 per size. That's it to grade your pattern. Okay, say you're doing a motocross pant with 85 different pattern pieces. That's not $9 per size, because that's what I did. I was hired to do that kind of stuff. If you were doing this Upton dress, if you were to send this Upton dress to a pattern grader, you give them your size chart and a grade rule, and you say, I would like it to all these sizes. They do it, they send it back to you, a nested set of patterns, and then charge you $9 per size. It's about that. Might be $15 per size. Even if it's $20 per size, it's not expensive, okay? So this is where I wonder, why isn't this happening? Is it because of all the graphic work? Well, the thing is, if you already have this pattern and you wanted to add 10 more sizes to it, it's the same sewing instructions. It might be different cutting layout instructions, but that's it. And then there's like tweaks to the pattern envelope because you need to add all of the sizes on there. So I don't understand what the holdup is. And I asked someone really nicely. I don't remember who it was. I was like, I'm curious, like what is it that's, is it the layout? Is it the, I'm curious. I just want to know, like, I'm not like, because I want to know so that I can understand better and not be like criticizing. I've never said this publicly. You guys know me. I don't typically say things like this, but that's the thing, is like in the garment making world, grading isn't the problem. Okay, I understand though, like if you had the Upton dress in Missy sizes, you wanted to add a curvy range, you do need another block. You do. I understand that. But still, then you grade it. You just need a size chart. Yeah, I know, Malin. Totally. Yeah, exactly, Cass. I haven't said anything. I am not anyone of influence in the home sewing world. And it's a shame that I can't have a conversation with people because I really want to understand what it is. Because the customers are there. The customers are there. And you know what? Even if they aren't, so what? You offer it to everybody. Yeah, Cass, I mean, grading is I don't know why, but people don't really like to do it. And if you like a little bit of math, but the thing is, you need to know how to do it on a CAD program because most of all this is done in CAD. I don't know, Siobhan, you know, like this is what I have decided is that a lot of the pattern companies that we are buying patterns from aren't drafting their own patterns. I don't know. That's the only thing I can come up with, is that they're not drafting their own patterns. So they don't really have that in-house person to be like, yo, we need to get on this. I know, Siobhan, but the thing is, I don't have the graphic skills. Like I stumble, like my chicken boots pattern is ready. Yeah, Cashmere is really successful because she only did this size range exactly. And you know what's really amazing, Louise, and I've mentioned this before, is like when I asked you guys for curvy pattern suggestions for our sew along, almost every single pattern suggested was Cashmere. And I thought, kudos to her, you know, that she is the one people go to her name, you know. But you know, like companies like Colette have been doing it since day one. They have always offered curvy patterns. I'm pretty sure they've been offering them since I've been sewing them. Yeah, exactly, Malin. I know, right? Like, what was that skirt I did? Like that deer and doe skirt? I'm sorry, but I shouldn't be the biggest size. I'm average. I'm a little below now. Yeah, exactly, Louise. Oh, of course, absolutely, exactly. Yeah. And she, you know, and the thing is, like, people that are under her size range can't really complain. You can't, when you're not the marginalized group, you really can't complain. There are dresses like the Upton out there for Missy sizing. So this is my thing. Like, I would really like to talk to Jacqueline. I don't know how to, no, Cashmere and Seamwork are totally different companies. Seamwork and Colette are the same company, Christy. Colette Patterns started, and then they started Seamwork as a way to do a monthly pattern. So, The Colette patterns are really amazing, and the seamwork patterns are really good too. I'm not saying they're not. They're just simpler. So there's not as like the Audrey was seemed more like a Colette pattern than a seamwork pattern, because they started this like monthly magazine a few years ago, and then I think they don't do the monthly magazine anymore because they just realized like this online thing was a better way to go. So anyway, I would really love to talk to people. I just like to talk. I want to understand, you know. I'm not, because that's the thing is like, I don't want to criticize anybody until I understand why they're saying we have to draft a whole new block. Draft a whole new block. That's not that hard. You have something to go with. You have something to go with. You can take your top size in that garment, grade it up, then fit it to the person who is your ideal base size. Then you fit it on a few people that are your base size, because 4 women who have the same exact measurements don't fit the same way. So you need to fit it on a few, and then you grade it up. And then all of the rest of the stuff's in place. So I just don't understand. Oh, that's cool, Louise. I saw someone else recently that I want to see. It was the fabric designer. Yeah, so that's my rant today. Like, I don't understand. I just want to know, like, because as a pattern drafter, let me tell you guys one more thing. As a pattern drafter, I used to have to do about 350 patterns in about 4 months' times. And that's all the sizing. So I had to do about 85 patterns every 3 months, all by myself. 85 patterns every 3 months for every season. So I don't understand what the holdup is. I'm trying to understand. So I don't know. I don't know if Love to Sew is that into me. I don't know. They didn't, I don't know. I'm not sure they're really behind what I'm doing. Yeah. I really love Colette patterns, Cass. They're really good. Yeah. I know. I will comment if I wouldn't say drafting's bad, but I will say you need to probably figure this out. Yes, Mullen, 85. So when I worked in the outerwear industry, we would come up with maybe 9 new designs a year. Tiny, 9. But they were very, very technical garments, very specific to the sport. And then we had about 9 months to do those 9 patterns to production. Huge timeline. That is the only place I've ever seen that. That is not typical in every outerwear company. So, but when I worked at like a fitness apparel company named Hind, I don't know if you've heard of Hind. I'm sure you've heard of Saucony Shoes, but they bought Hind. It was a fitness apparel company started by, I think he's a triathlete, Gregory Hind. And when I worked there, yeah, it was like 85 per season. And that was just the domestic line. We had an international manufactured line that someone else handled. So, and that's the same with like when I worked at children's wear company. Like I have like a picture from when I was there, and there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. There's like 18 or 19 designs, and that's the infant line for second delivery of spring, and it wasn't the basics. So there were infant, toddler, kids, and kids was girls, boys. So that's 4 lines. Then there were 3 different deliveries per season, and then there were 3 different lines in each of those. And I had to do all those first patterns, and then transfer them for the production pattern drafter. So I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, is there just not enough pattern drafters out there? Or what? But you can tell I'm very frustrated by it, and I just wish I could talk to someone without them thinking, oh, you're just one more person criticizing me. I just want to understand. Maybe I could help advocate for them, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is why it's hard. There aren't enough pattern drafters. Maybe they don't want to admit that they're not doing the pattern drafting. I don't know. I have no idea. Should we iron? Is my iron cold now? Now that I've ranted? Honestly, let's hope my iron's still working because when I turned it on yesterday, I tilted all this water poured out the bottom. I was like, okay, you've dropped this puppy one too many times. All right, let me do my shoulder seams and then I'm gonna iron it. So, yeah. Yeah, I almost messaged that Jacqueline gal. So this, okay, here's my other little thing about this pattern. Wait, why does this dart want to go this way? It should go this way. It should go this way, but I don't like this little wing here. But I've just been leaving it. I've just been trusting it, and I know I need to trust it. Hello, Carol. You're lucky you're late. I was just ranting. No, let's see. Let's look at it. You see that? That's not okay. Sorry, you see, I got all sweaty with that rant. Yeah, I really wish I wish I'd stayed in the sewing world in some ways, but Chicken Boots was amazing, you know, and I would probably be a little bit more in the know of really what people are. I don't know what the heck's going on. I left my freelance business to start a pattern drafting, like a pattern line, and then I got sidetracked with Chicken Boots. Oh well. Okay, I'm just gonna sew my shoulders. I press my darts towards the front. Hopefully that's what they say to do. I just trimmed that off because you need a nice smooth transition right here, and I would have had a little like bubble right there if I hadn't done that. That's why I did that. And the thing is, you guys, like, that's what you're here for today's workout, exactly. The last episode with Cashmere is episode number 2. Oh, perfect. You have to listen to that part. You guys love the drama. Oh, yeah. The thing is, you guys, I'll just say this now. I don't want to be a freelance pattern drafter for other folks. I wouldn't mind consulting, but I don't want to do the pattern drafting myself because I have plenty of things I want to do, you know? So, because I could see that one conversation with someone a while back was going that direction. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing this for other people. Because here's my thing is like, just because I have the skills to do it doesn't mean I have to do it for other people, you know? And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but that's the kind of, when you sew, you guys know this, when you sew, you feel like people are like, oh, you should hem my pants. Because you know how to sew, you're supposed to hem their pants, right? Have you guys gotten that before? I straight up started lying to people and saying, oh, I don't know how to hem pants. Because it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to hem pants. You know, like I have other things I'm working on here, things that I want to do. And I paid to go to school and I put in the hours. I have the experience. So I want to work on these things. But everybody's a designer is my saying. Everybody's a designer and they all really have an idea they want you to make into fruition. Well, I have my own ideas too. So that's really what I want to focus on. So, all right, I'll stop ranting. Let's iron. And yes, I got my iron cam working again. Oops, wrong way, wrong way. What's that? Why did I just sew that crooked? Wow. I'm not going to iron the waist seam yet because I need to see how it's sewn next. Like I ironed the waist seam a little bit, but I'm not gonna iron it all the way. I need show the jacket to my neighbor, and here comes the request. Exactly. I need you to help me finish this bag. The rounded ends are killing me. Is that like what someone says to you, Carol? Yeah, I'm gonna keep asking him or pants, but I keep avoiding the topic. Just tell her you don't know how to do it. Yeah, I know. Grain line. It's obvious with grain line. Amanda, just ain't no flat out. Exactly. Yeah, I know, right, Louise? I mean, yeah. So Louise, I can tell, and I think the same with I don't know the gal's name who owns Colette, but I think it's the same for her. She's a pattern drafter. So, and I'm not sure about a couple of the other really popular companies. I'm not going to name any of them because I don't know. But and there's nothing wrong. The thing is, you guys, there's nothing wrong with having a home sew pattern company if you're not the pattern drafter, as long as you have a good pattern drafter. You know, that's okay. That's what pattern drafters are for. They're hired to, you know, complete to do the work, the engineering part of it. So, all right, let me look at the directions. All right, I just want to see how she likes to do this. What is that? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, she doesn't even say how to press it. That's interesting. Can I skip that kind of step in my finish seam and press towards waistband? Oh, okay. So I do press that down. All right. Oh, waist starts towards center. Bust starts upward. What? No. Bust starts go down. Right? Am I remembering that wrong? I could be. Yeah, bust starts go down, right? Or do they go like this? Maybe they go up. I always get this confused. Oh, you need my expertise. Okay, so what bag are you making, Carol? I can't remember. All right, so I need to I think it's this way. I always get this one, always confuses me. I always think, oh, it goes down, and it's because when it's folded properly up, it looks down to me. I can't explain it. It's just some stupid thing. All right, let me press this again, and then the waistband the proper way. Wait. Up? Right? You'd add some water. Oh, that's interesting, Malin. Yeah, bust starts go down. I am right, aren't I? Wait, is that the way I was doing it? Yeah, I don't even remember. Let's see. Yeah, bust starts go down, right? Okay, well this pattern drafted them up because that's how it's flush. I have to look. I'm doubting it all now. I'm too flustered from my rant. I don't like how these are kind of visible right here, but that could be my sewing. Okay, I did that one, I did that one. Did I do this one here? Yeah, I did, okay. Oh, okay. 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 Oh, the roly-poly bag. I haven't made that. Almost there. It's just, okay. I'll have to look at that, Carol. If you need, you can always send me a picture, an Instagram DM. I won't always help you guys that way, but if it's something like maybe a bag, I might be able to give you a tip. I just need a picture. I need to see, you know? That might help me. All right, let's, so this is one way to make this dress take a long time is, rant. I'm gonna switch to white. I'm gonna do the same things I just did on this one, and then we're gonna get to the fun part of the one piece facing, but it's really aligning. And I'm really excited that we get to do that and that she uses that technique because it's so great. And when I was learning to sew, these kinds of garments were always really appealing to me. Maybe it was my age, maybe it was because of where I lived, I don't remember. And if you have a sleeveless garment and it has a center front or a center back opening, you can use this technique. I cannot, oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, could not. So you think that they're actually less visible if you press them up. I'm kind of confused on what I always do now. I'm not that point, you know. You want a waist high belt for your Calais dress? Let's see. That's a good question. You know, the one on the tea house. It's right here. Let's see. So the one on the tea house is, let's see, you could, if it were at the center, you know, you'd have this much. And I would probably add 12 inches to that. And this measures, let's see here. Do I have a tape measure? So this one's 24 inches, Malin. But it's intended to sew about right here, not at the center front. So I would add about, so I'd make it about 60 inches long. Do you have that much fabric? Or two of them at 30 inches each? This one measures about, I want to say about 5 inches across. 2, 4, about 5.5, so. There we go. I put in white thread, right? I did. All right, look at these little bikes. They're cute. I wish my camera, is the camera quality better for you guys? 2 yards, yeah, a little bit less. 2 yards would be 72. But you could put a seam in it. You could put a seam in it. You can make it continuous if you have that much fabric, but that's a lot of fabric. Oops, sorry, I didn't backtrack. The stitch length seems kind of long. Yeah, it would be so fun to talk with people about that stuff and have a productive conversation about it. Diagnose what the issue is, you know? That gal, I can't think of her last name is, because her Instagram is her first and last name and it's all mashed together. So I have trouble like visualizing what it says. This is what I'm talking about. See, this feels very torquey to me. See that? This is why I was questioning where this dart point was. But now I committed on the bodice. I'm gonna have to commit to the lining to be the same. Because see, look, that's where it wants to fold and put the point there, not on the tip. So that's why I was questioning it, you guys. The linen was giving it a, was making it work. I can't even get it to do it. I can't get it to fold there. Well, I just back-tacked on my, I just back-tacked. It's okay. It's lining. It'll be okay. Yeah, I would totally seam it. I would totally seam it. I seam my ties all the time. And if you seam it and you are really straight and press it really good, you can, and like press the seam open, you can get it pretty invisible, that seam. Just so it's really straight on the grain line, and press it open. And I wouldn't trim the seam too much either, just because if it's really trimmed, then you'll see a ridge along either side of the seam. Just leave it at the 1/2 or 5/8 you use, you know. Okay, so I've got that one. That's back. So this on here. It's interesting that this is the big debate too, because like when I've worked at places, the big debate where I would work is if we're gonna offer it in women's sizing at all. Like we've come a long way, you know. Before all we had was men's sizing or unisex, which I hate that term so much, you know. Most of the world is not uni, you know? It's kind of a imaginary sizing thing. All right. I want to get to this fun part of this one piece thing, so let me get there. So this is good practice though. You sew 2 whole bodices and then you get to put your facing on. I'm going to overlock the skirts and stuff. Oof. There we go. And then now the front. We're getting there. We're getting there. Wait, where's my, oh, there they are, okay. Why is that so small? Really? That's not that small. Right? Oh, I have my little, yeah. This doohickey. This little doohickey. This is why I saved it, because I'm going to use it right away. So there's my notches right there. Put the point in. Yeah, well, they don't fit anybody, Malin. They fit usually men. They're not unisex. And I think I've told you that story where to prove a point, the women of the design department, because there were only women in the design department at the time, there was one guy who wanted to be in the design department and helped us out a lot, and he ended up learning everything and getting there and is like the head designer there now. A really awesome guy. We took a women's specific life jacket, which won all these awards because it fit so well. The movement was great. The rating was good. The quality was amazing. And it fit really, really well. And in fact, it fits so well, men were wearing it because paddlers tend to have upper body muscles. And they found that the women's fit really well because of their chest contour, right? So they were already wearing a woman's size. So we took this isn't what we did. We took a women's specific garment. That's what it was, sorry. We took a women's specific garment that we had in men's and women's, and we told the men to try on the women's garment. First of all, they didn't want to. They were just like, but it's a women's garment. And we were like, well, yeah, but you're asking us always to wear the men's size, you know, and you think that there's nothing wrong with that. So if you think that there's nothing wrong with that, then try the women's size on. And none of them could get it on. We didn't give them a smaller size. We were like, try any of the sizes. They just couldn't get it on, you know. So it really underscored our point that, I mean, we all know men and women are different. Right? So if you can't admit that, then you got a long way to go. But there has to be a market for it. That's the thing with brands, is people think, why don't they do this, whatever it is, you know, whatever you're interested in. But if sales doesn't think they can sell it, it won't get passed anywhere. It won't go anywhere. So it's not a designer's decision to make things for sale at a company unless they are the owner and the salesperson. It is a joint decision between whoever's in charge, the sales department, the marketing department, and the design department. And a lot of people don't realize that. Because design, we could say, hey, we have this really great designs and blah, blah, blah. We do our presentation, and sales is like, I can't sell any of that. That's not what people are asking for. And then we either have to try and sell them on it, or they have to sell us on what they want, or we have to come to a decision. And then whoever's in charge decides. And then marketing is like, oh, yeah, I can get behind this. So that's how it works. It's not the same in home sew companies, though, you know? I should have said it's unisex, so. There was an interesting discussion with the recent canceled NASA mission. Ooh, what's the discussion? I didn't see that. I didn't know they canceled a recent mission. Remember when going to space was such huge news, and now it's like, oh yeah, they're in space, you know? I don't like that this notch is so far away from where my dart is. Do I ease it in? Am I not sewing it right? press the darts. So you guys, if you're sewing this, press your darts before you put on the waistband. I know Louise is all, amen, right? I am rushing it a wee bit, you know. Yeah, that's true, Malin. They sell products that don't exist. They also are innovating things so fast that we don't even know we need it until it exists. So it is a totally different thing. And clothing, though, we've all been kind of sitting here doing the clothing thing for a while. And it's not like women haven't been screaming for more sizes for forever. So this is, okay, so I definitely have an issue with this shoulder doing this wingy thing right here. I'm not sure why it does that. So I'm trimming mine because you're going to sew this at a straight line. You're not going to do it at a point. I think that they would mention that that contour is there for a reason. I'm not sure why it does this. Look at that. I'm having all kinds of drama today. See, look at it, it dips down, so I'm just gonna straighten it out anyway. That's probably what I was noticing when I was ironing that one. Now don't get your armhole confused with your V-neck if you're doing the V-neck. Make sure you get the right one there. All right, let's iron. And then we get to do the one piece facing. Woohoo! Get rid of those threads so they don't get immortalized. I need to get rid of that. Nancy popped into the chat before we started and said she had to go to the DMV today, so which means she's getting her license renewed. She said, sorry, I'm gonna miss you guys. All right, am I going up or down? What am I doing? Why is this so befuddling to me today? Neither one lines up right now. It's annoying. It would be a lot nicer of an ironing job if I had done it separately. Did I do that up? Huh. I know it's supposed to be down. I know it's supposed to be down. Yeah. That's really weird. Okay. Yeah, it's, I know traditionally that's supposed to be down. I don't know why it's going that way. Not funny. But there could be good reason for it. Maybe it works better on the curvier upper sizes. I don't know. Functional pockets, exactly. Oh, wow. Are you serious, Olivia? So Olivia's on Twitch and she said, They canceled the first female moonwalk mission because the spacesuits were designed, of course, for men, and they weren't safe for the women. Was this recent? Yes, it does. This does have pockets. Yeah, the DMV is pretty painful. You have to renew your license every 4 years, I think, Rachel. But sometimes you get lucky and they just send you your renewal, like if you've been a good driver and you haven't had any issues with it. Sometimes if it's been a really long time since you've taken your picture, they'll say, you need to come in, you know. But you can update your address pretty easily and stuff like that. The thing to do is make an appointment. But, you know, still, it's a thing to do. All right, I'm going to trim some threads here. I know darts get pressed down. It depends on your birth year, even or odd. Wait a minute. What? Where's those other threads we saw? Right here, right here. I didn't put a stay stitch in the neckline. I'm not too worried about it because this cotton lining is really tightly woven. It's very nice and stable. Hence why I was seeing that torquing probably in that dart. It was definitely showing what would happen. All right, I'm going to switch to my red thread because I don't care if the red thread shows on the lining. I do care if it shows on the outside. All right, switch our thread. Yeah, and they've been switching to something in California called Real ID or something like that. And so it's been making the DMVs kind of crazy here because they need everybody to change over to this thing called Real ID by a certain year, you know. Odd year is 6 years. Last time you got an 8-year license, that's awesome. Yeah, so it might be something like that, 6 or 8. What? It depends on if your birth year is odd or even. Are you serious? My husband had a funny thing with his passport. He travels a lot, and he used to even have like he had the security clearance with the government because we did military contracts at one of the places I worked, and he would still he always got stopped for entering our country, mainly because his name is identical to someone else's on I think like a list in Ireland. He's a very Irish name, and I shouldn't say very Irish. He has an Irish name, all 3 names, and then he had a special hip replacement at one point, and he has a metal hip, and so that didn't help either. And every time he would come in from Canada, they would throw him in a holding cell, take away his passport. It used to freak me out. And then after 9/11, they said, well, hey, you can't have a passport with sequential numbers. And so it's not like his passport was 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 4 5 6 8. It was more that it skipped around, but there were spaces and the numbers were still sequential. And so he had to get a new passport. That was one of the things. And this resembling this name of this person. So, all right. Let's do this. All right, so here's the deal. You get to put on this whole, you're going to finish the armholes and the neckline all at once. And then you're going to turn it right side out. And then we're going to finish the side seams. You don't, are you serious, Rachel? 10 years in Sweden? Rachel says you just have to renew in the UK until you're 70. Oh, wow, Amanda, that's so funny. In March, looked it up, and they don't have enough spacesuit sizes. Oh, in March this year, they looked it up, and it's that they didn't have enough spacesuit sizes for them. That's funny. I was kind of writing up a resume type thing for my website yesterday, and I was writing it, and I remember thinking, the only thing I haven't done is a spacesuit. Okay, remember I trimmed away some of my lining, so you will see it kind of pulling up. I'm gonna do it from the lining side, but I do have a stay stitch on this side, and I did do it on the inside of the seam allowance, so I'm pretty sure I won't miss it, but we will double check it. So it's right sides together. Match up your shoulder seams. And sew half inch seam. And even though you trimmed away that lining, you're still gonna line up those cut edges. It sounds kind of funny, sorry. I'm just checking it. Why does it sound funny? It's a lightweight thread, maybe that's it. Is his name Jerry Adams? No. Oh, that's interesting, Megan. I had no idea. And you don't have to have a photo in the UK too. So I learned last year that my last name is not what I thought it was. And I was pretty bummed because when I got married, I kept my maiden name, but I made it a middle name. I didn't hyphenate my last name, and it's because I had a name in the industry, and at the time it was just like this thing people did, and we didn't have the internet wasn't what it was, you know. And so, you know, being found by your name was important, and so I kept my maiden name as a middle name. And then I took my husband's last name. I didn't want to hyphenate. And so when I got my new Social Security card, I said, this is how I want it. She said, no problem. I got my Social Security card in the mail. It was all there. I had 2 middle names. So I didn't drop my middle name. So I have 2 middle names. And then so I had 1 first name, 1 last name. And so last summer, my daughter was getting her learner's permit. And when we went to the DMV, they were kind of like, are you sure this is her Social Security number? And I was like, what? Why are you asking me that? And it turns out she had the Social Security number of a deceased elderly woman who died when she was elderly. So then we were like, well, that's weird. And so we had to figure that all out. And so when I went to the Social Security Administration to figure it out and figure out what her Social Security card was, what it was, the number was and everything, and get it for her, the woman said, you know, that's because so I had to prove who I am, and I am who I say I am, and she said, you know, that's your last name is actually, you have 2 last names. It's this one and this, my maiden name Graves and my last name Duffy, and there's no hyphen. And I was like, what? What do you mean that's my name? I did not know this, and I haven't had it fixed because, you know, when you're married, you can get your name changed for free, but if you are not getting married, when you're getting married, you can get a free name change. Otherwise, it costs, and it's a hassle, you know? So, yeah, I learned last year that that's not my last name, which makes sense because when we bought a house and we went to sign the escrow papers, I was very specific, and I said, I just want my first and last name. They say, you write your name here the way you want it to be on escrow. I didn't want to sign 4 names. And so I did. I wrote down, you know, Sarah Me Duffy. And then when the escrow papers came in, they were like, well, that's interesting. All of your names came up. And that's probably why. Because the banks were like, yeah, that's not your name. You have to have your last name on there. And so they put my last name and they added my middle name for good measure. And it took forever to sign all those papers. All right, so there is my V. It's not quite straight, so I'm going to fix that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this right here. You want your V to be straight, so take the time to get it that little point in the middle. So there we go. And I just creased it. It's like half, maybe a half a stitch. There we go. One of those things that will look really off if you don't get it off. And I could tell when I turned my corner that I wasn't quite there. That looks way better. So I corrected it. It's the bottom one. All right, so let's do the armholes. Rachel, maybe you are. That's interesting that you don't have pictures on your, but you have like You must have some sort of identification in the UK with your picture on it. It's just that it's not your driver's license. Kind of a hot button topic here, especially centering around illegal immigration and stuff. Shouldn't be, because we can issue driver's licenses to anybody. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter your status. I may be wrong on that, but people get nervous doing it if they are illegal. So it's kind of interesting. But they need to get to work. All right, if it'll feel a little fussy doing this because you trimmed away, and then you can feel this is kind of pulling a tiny bit. Should be baggy, a little bit baggy on this side. It's not too much though. That 1/16 of an inch isn't too much, you know. You're good to do that 2033. That's awesome. That seems like a long way from now. 2033. It's 2019, right? Dang. 14 years from now. All right. So I kind of pull the red one so that it lines up. I'm trying to pull. I have a Band-Aid, so I can't grab it. I don't want to stretch out my armhole, so I'm just trying to line up that cut edge without pulling on it, because I am a puller. We've determined that. But I know better than to pull on an edge where there's bias, and the armhole certainly has bias. So, okay, the magic is about to happen once I clip this. So like I said, you can do this treatment on any garment that is sleeveless, as long as there's a center front or a center back opening, you know. You can't do this if both the front and the back are on the fold. You won't be able to turn it right side out. Right? Yeah, you cannot turn it right side out. Because I would add this treatment to a lot of things that didn't already have it, and then I would find out I couldn't do it. That was when I was learning and experimenting. I don't think that angle matters. You can just go straight. Like that. And get rid of this. I just followed the taper of the seam allowance there. That'll be there when we do the side seam. So, right, Millen? I know. It is so funny that it's so different in all these countries, because we've driven in other countries and they would just give us a temporary license at the airport when we got our car. All right, so I might, that looks a little bigger than a 1/2 inch, right? I probably should have trimmed it before I did all my clipping, because now I'll have a lot of little pieces. But I am going to trim it, I think. Alrighty. It's starting to get warm here, you guys. Almost time for the sleeveless dresses. I almost wore one today. I didn't feel like ironing it, and then I wore my other one and I was like, oh, this doesn't work over shorts, so then I had to iron my bow top anyway. Yeah, see, you want to trim it first. Let me see if I got all the way into that curve. Really around here. Yeah, I barely got it in here. You failed to drive test in England? Is that where you live, Carol? Oh, that's so funny. You've never gotten one here, Rachel. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I failed my driving test. I did get one wrong on my paper test. No, wait, I got one wrong on my driving test. He said I didn't look over my shoulder when I changed lanes, but I did. I actually did. I remember that because that was really important. So he just didn't see me do it. Or maybe I didn't do it good enough. Or maybe he felt like he had to mark me down for something. Oh. Or maybe he just wanted me to never forget to do it, and it really did cement it, you know. So it is kind of a good way to cement doing something. So usually I would draft a pattern 1/4 inch seams, hands down on sleeveless. You don't need all this fabric in there, and it just makes it. You have to clip then. You kind of have to anyway. On this kind of V, you probably don't. You just need to clip right here at the center V, right there, up to your sew line. Because it's a V, I'm not going to clip. I don't really need to. It's really those curves that are really tricky. Oh yeah, I bet, Terry. Is it humid there too? Oh right, Carol, that's funny. I didn't know that. You're like, but I've been driving successfully for 2 years. Oh, this is not how I would usually trim this. It's so hard with these little tiny scissors. Because normally I wouldn't have this to trim. All right. I'm excited to see how this dress fits, you know? It's got cup sizes, which I just stuck with the base one because I'm a double D and I figured the CD must mean that I stick with that, you know? Give it a minute. That's hilarious. That is legal. This curve, and then we're going to flip this baby, and we'll sew one side seam. So all right, now we just pull it all through. I'm gonna pull from the front. You pull through this little opening. So if it's really narrow, it is a little tricky. We sure spent a lot of time doing this bodice. Yeah, that's true, Louise. It really does. It's probably a lot less work for them too, to be honest, if you already have a license somewhere. And maybe it's not all countries that they allow to do that, but maybe it's like, okay, we've looked at your driving test in the US and it's good enough for us. Oh my gosh, Carol, really? That's crazy. Dang, that does, you do wonder about that. All right, so now we have our lined bodice. And then what we'll do is we sew one side seam, we open it up, and we sew it like this. So I'm gonna press this first. So now you can see that there's a little bit of red showing on this side, which is great because that means my lining won't show on the right side. See that? So nice. It's an important step to do. I'm glad I noticed it. I didn't just start blindly sewing. Yep, I have lined the bodice exactly. Just making sure I don't have any wrinkles underneath there. Let's see. I can do that better. Let's see here. And then, because you trim this lining, you don't have to understitch it. Sometimes you do. You just get as far as you can, then you have to stop when you get up to the shoulder. But it's kind of nice that you don't really have to. It gives a softer finish on the outside without top stitching. You don't want to top stitch something like this. Looks nicer without. I don't know about that. I don't doubt the fit of this garment or that it's going to work out, but I definitely I'm confused by the darts a little bit. So I probably should look into that a little bit. And the fact there's one right there, it's kind of fun. So I'm pretty excited to see how this fits. See how this side looks. I'm just going to look at one with it pressed down. You don't get what I mean. If it only works at the front or back opening. Oh, okay. Because I know it's really weird. Like you cannot turn it right side out if your center is on the fold. Like if your center's like closed here. I'm pressing my darts down. I can't handle it. Yeah, so I know it's a kind of a weird little thing to wrap your head around. But if this had been closed here, if the center back had been closed. So I'll show you because we'll just pretend like I'm going to turn it right side out the other way, you know? Right, Louise? I know. When I drove there, my mom and sister and I, drove all over England, Ireland, and Scotland. And my mom, she admits she has a trouble with left and right. But here's the other thing, like when you're used to driving on the right side of the road, meaning directionally the right, not correct, but right side of the road, when you turn or make a right-hand turn, you hug the corner. And when you make a left-hand turn, you cross traffic. And in England, Ireland, and Scotland, you drive on the left side of the road. So when you turn left, you hug the corner. And when you turn right, you cross traffic. And so sometimes in her mind, she would say, okay, up here, you're going to turn right. But what she meant was left, because in her head she was thinking we're crossing traffic. And so it was very trying. There was no iPhones, Google, or Google Maps, none of that stuff, you guys. It was maps. So. No, you can't turn it through the zipper opening either. So if you, the zipper opening is the side seam. So say I have this back. You cannot, let's see, I'm hoping I can show you. Let's just attach it. Do you want me to, I can run a stitch through there. Here, I'll just run a little stitch. I'll show you why it doesn't work. Okay, so pretend like this is inside out and we're gonna turn it right side out. You can't get your whole garment through because it just keeps going to the other shoulder. I went through Dublin. We stayed there at the hostel. My mom and my sister and I stayed at the hostel in Dublin. Siobhan, okay, so I don't want to lose you, Louise. So here, look, I'm turning it right side. Pretend I'm turning it right side out right now. So then I get through. My pins are probably going to get hung up. But I can't turn it all the way. It just keeps going. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things you don't get until you do it and you do it wrong and you're like, why doesn't this work? Because I would add it to things and it just wouldn't work. So if you had a, I'm trying to think, like, if you could do it through a shoulder opening, but doing that is just not that ideal. It's kind of fussy. So I hope that makes sense. I lost one of my pins in there. So Siobhan, this is crazy. The only beer I have ever had in my entire life, like the only whole beer I have ever had, was a Guinness at a pub around the corner from that hostel. And boy, it was so hard to drink it all. But I was determined and I was by myself. And no, I didn't really like it. I don't like beer. But my guy friends told me when they went, they're like, you have to have a pint of Guinness for us. And so I did. So, yeah, it's strange, right, Louise? I know. It's just one of those really weird, quirky sewing things that it makes sense once you've done it a few times. But yeah, it's because basically what happens is this is a closed loop. And the only way you can turn that, right side to wrong side is if both your armholes are open. Yeah, so you can't have a sewn circle if you want to turn it. Exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yes, right, Siobhan? Yeah. I mean, when we went through the Welsh countryside, we drove from London through Wales and took the ferry over down there to Ireland. And they don't translate the signs into English, which I really appreciated. Was it a hostel beside Christchurch? I'm not sure. It could have been. It was in Dublin, like right along the river. Does that make sense? This was 18 years ago. I turned 30. Siobhan. Yeah, there we go. Am I saying it right? I hope so. Okay, so let's do a side seam. So here's my bodice. I'm gonna put my zipper on my left side because I'm right-handed. So I'm gonna sew this side seam together. So you know, this is, you know me, I don't really typically like to, this is like the like cheating sleeve trick, you know, but on a one piece facing, it's worth it. It's okay. It's okay to do that. So you're going to sew this together, and if your seam isn't lining up very good, just make sure it lines up right here at the armhole. If you need to split the seam allowance, one to the front, one to the back, that's okay, because it's all going to get folded to the inside anyway. I find that sometimes it lines up better is when I press the seam allowance up and the other one down, because then they kind of nest together right there, kind of hook onto each other, like it hooked onto my needle just now. So like I said, this is your non-negotiable point. You mean business with this point right here, because this is your underarm and you want a nice smooth curve. It sounds like it's raining outside, but it's perfectly sunny. So weird. All right. Oh, are you taking off, Rachel? See you later. Nice. Have fun with your daughter. I'm not going to switch my thread for the lining. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. I'm trying to make this dress casual, but you know, red dress. The bikes kind of help, right? All right, so I'm sewing my side seam, and I'm just doing the right side seam because I'm going to put a zipper in the left one. I'm getting better at my invisible zippers. And I'm glad I'm doing one so close to the last one because, all right, this is a very, very popular pattern. It fits so many people. It's very, very successful. So please do not take my issues with the darts to heart, because like this right here is sticking, the side seam sticking out like that. It's kind of a weird thing right there. I'm a pattern drafter. I analyze things. I would really like my side seam to match right here. I'm kind of tempted, like what you could do is take your waistband apart, sew your waistband together, sew your bodice together, and then sew the waistband so it's continuous. And I think I'm going to do that, you guys, right here. You know what I mean? Because it's a waistband, so you kind of want a continuous thing. I know my zipper is going to go through on the other side, but why not? I'm almost done for the day. I'm going to take a few extra minutes. It's a nice, you know, touch. As long as my side seams match, it'll be okay when I'm done. It's like one or the other, right? You got to pick your battles. So I'm just taking it apart for a few stitches. I'm going to sew my waistband together first. I think I just figured out a way to go to a restaurant in Sacramento this Saturday. I'm going to sneak it by. And I'm going to get banana cream cheesecake because I've been wanting it. Ha ha ha. Okay. On our little trip. I'm looking forward to it. Me and my daughter haven't done a trip alone in a really long time. I used to do them a lot with her when she was really little. Okay, so my other side seam. You do not have to do this. This is just my own little thing. And then now my waistband will be a nice continuous seam right there. I'm gonna open up the side seam. That Brussels linen's starting to get a little thready. Line up my seam. Now I'm lining up my side seam on the waistband and on the top. Here we go. I'll show you why I did that. See, so now my waistband is a continuous seam right here. What's that right there? Looks okay on the inside. Except for my Seam allowance right there. Oh, maybe when I press it, it's fine. Like that, you know? Yes, Christy. This is how it's sewn. I didn't do anything different from the pattern. I'm totally following her instructions, except I pressed my darts down is the only thing. Oh, I didn't do too good right there, though. See that? I'm going to fix that. See, this is what I'm talking about. You really want this juncture right here to line up, and I did a pretty bad job of it. So if you cannot get it to do it, you're going to have to take one seam allowance bigger than the other to get it. See that? Got it right on top of it too. So, oh, you did the DNA? Oh, that's cool. A medium told you your family's from Cary. Yeah. Hello, Miriam. How's it going? Miriam, remind me to try and raid you if you're going to be here. I'm almost done. Are you going to be streaming? Actually, I should ask if you're streaming. Miriam, I did a little tiny quick tutorial yesterday on Trello. You're not going to stream today. Okay. Oh, bye, Siobhan. Nice seeing you. Resting times. That's right, Miriam. I did a little Trello thing, and I attributed everything I learned to you and Malin. Someone asked me how I was doing my pattern thing, and I was like, okay, I don't know Trello at all, but this is how I'm doing it. And I learned everything from Miriam and Malin, who was in the chat that day. So definitely gave credit where credit was due. It's been handy. I just use it for my pattern cards. That's it. I don't even write anything in there. I just title it, and I have a picture of the front and the back of my pattern card, and that's it. So that when I am at the fabric store, I can tell. All right, so yeah, I'm going to put this seam allowance a little bit bigger. Now that I've fixed my waistband on the other side. I'm being nitpicky right now, Miriam. I don't know if you've been here for a while, but I'm being a little nitpicky on the last couple things because I'm pretty much done for the day. Oh, nice. Yeah, you should, Miriam. YouTube is great for DIY. All right, so let's do a little bit. Let's shift my seam allowance here. Like that. Keep losing my, yeah, exactly. It's worth it. I like this pattern because they do the one piece facing trick. Let's see. Yeah, my lining is white, so, you know, it's very, very visible. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, let's try that. Blended that in a little bit. Okay, let's see if that's a little better. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be go a little together a little better. Let's get it in here, and then I'm going to match it up when it's under the needle like this. It'll be a little easier. Let's see. Sometimes you do all that effort and then nothing changes. Ah, there we go. That's better. Oakley dokley. And then I always press the seam open. That way it will lay nice and flat. So let me press this real quick. And that's the waist seam that I decided to sew differently as well. So I'm going to press that from the outside. There you go. See that? Nice and seamless. Okay. Got a couple threads I got to deal with. Why do I have this little point right there? Let's check it out again. I saw it a second ago, and then we didn't see it. We didn't see it when we looked for it. Let's be picky, because I'm not usually very picky. Let me look at it from this side, because I'm not seeing it from that side. I think it's just one of those weird optical illusions. All right, guys. So now Saturday we're gonna put the skirt pockets and invisible zipper on and hem. And I'm kind of excited about trying it on. It's some bright red, isn't it? Yeah, I think it'll be really awesome. It's got the one-piece lining. Definitely, let's see, I took my time with this one, didn't I? But that's because I had that intermission rant about things unrelated to the Upton. All right, so this is the back. There's no side zipper. I can do this other side seam. What am I thinking? There's a center back zipper. Yes. All right, let me finish that. But I'm going to take this waistband out. I'm going to do this. I like it when the waistband is a continuous seam. That's so funny that it took me that long to remember that. Miriam's so right now. I'm kind of hoping I match Brooke a little bit because I think she said she's making her Upton out of red as well. You're in bed, woman. You're resting. Yes, you need to rest. How's your new kitty doing? I'm talking to Miriam on Twitch, you guys. And thank you, Christy. Thanks for saying it's pretty. I think Olivia might be there with you. I'm not sure. She may have had to take off. Let's see her. I don't think I'm good. I haven't been really trying Miriam, but what's the first step? Is it verified or affiliate on Twitch? I don't think I'm going to get it because I haven't really worked hard on it. Affiliate, yeah. So I haven't worked on it, but I think I'm missing like one of the steps, and it might be getting enough followers. Oh, sorry. My heel kept slipping off. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly putting my effort into YouTube because that's where these guys are. I really appreciate that. So, all right, so let's do this underarm seam. Okay, I just started playing a new cat game on my phone called Faristas, kind of like Barista. It's the 50 followers thing. Is that the one I miss? That might be the one I'm missing. Yeah, I think that's what it is. What I should do is just make a plea to all you guys on YouTube. We just go follow my Twitch page and then I can get affiliate. But you know, the thing is, will I ever really utilize Twitch for that? I don't know, you know, like, I was like reaching for my pincushion back here. I can't see it because of the machine head. I'm going to pin it this direction first and just see if I'm close. Okay. I don't typically pin that direction. But then it means then, you know, like creating a YouTube account and blah, blah, blah. Exactly, Miriam. Yeah. I think I'm gonna, I don't think I'll go through the traditional routes of monetizing. All right, so yeah, my dart doesn't line up there because they want me to press it up, and I just can't do that. Let's see, are we still there? Are we still there? Feels like I'm still there. I'm gonna doubt it and take it out and do it again though. So Mara's doing good. Do you have more than one cat? That feels funny over there. I have a couple cats, and I was looking for mine this morning. I looked under the bed, and he was just stretched out. He's huge. He's like 20 pounds. Oh, and Stormageddon. That's funny. This is not lining up. Why aren't you lining up? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. Cool. Let's do my waist seam here. So I just took it out the side seam there because you were supposed to put your darts in and then sew your waistband to each bodice. But what I did was right here at the side seam, I took out the waistband for a little bit because I would like my waistband to be a one continuous thing. That's why I did that right now. Just a personal preference. Let me press the seam open and then that'll be done for the day. Thea, that's so funny. I know, I have that issue too. I have a gamer account and I have my sewing account. And I'm trying to be really careful about, you know, keeping them separate because I game with young folks that I really don't need to troll my chat in my sewing and find out I'm a streamer. So I'm very careful about it. What I like about Twitch and YouTube is people can't really see who you're following, you know? It's not like Instagram or something like that. But all my stuff's unlocked on Twitch on my gaming one. Like I have Amazon Prime and I have like people I follow. So, oh, I have these threads sitting there. I'll fix those. I always get sloppy at the end of the stream, you guys. You know that. Always get sloppy at the end. Oh, really, Olivia? How come? I'm not involved in the gaming community. I just watch some streamers and I comment occasionally, but they don't know who I am. They can't tell at all. I mean, that's the one thing is like Twitch is more anonymous than any of the other platforms, I feel like. So I feel pretty okay with that. But like if I were to connect my Twitch to my gaming console, then it's a little different, you know? So I have to be really careful. Like, let's see, like how did I figure out the other day that it could show up? I can't remember. I just have to be careful. Like because people can see what you're watching on Twitch, even unless you hide that, which I have it hidden. So people could say, "Oh, why is Sarami watching Mim is Making?" And then and I was on my gaming account, and then Mim was like, "Oh, hey, Sarami," to my Phoenix account, then they might connect the dots or something, you know? So, but I don't think, or no, or if Miriam said, "Oh, hey, Phoenix, everybody, Phoenix is so live," you know, then it would be, people would be like, "Huh." But, you know, a lot of them aren't that clever to like make those connections like I am. I'm looking for that kind of stuff, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Thea. Exactly. Yeah, being the girl thing. I like sometimes don't even talk in game chat, because as soon as I do, they could be harassing me for being terrible. That happens to me, you guys. I was playing a game the other night, and they were like, "Phoenix, what the heck are you doing?" I was just like, "I'm sorry, I'm new at this game. I don't know how to play it." And then they were like, oh, okay, sorry. And then they sent me a friend request, and I'm like, "Dude, you know, just because I'm a girl, you don't have to be nice to me. But hey, you know, be nice to someone who's learning, you know? And also don't be creepy and send me a friend request." So, yep, exactly. And the whole sexism thing. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I've been watching a girl gaming streamer lately, and she's so good. I love watching her. Because she plays Fortnite as well, and she's really good. So it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then I'll see her in the lobbies with all those guys, and she's just not quite as good as them. It's so weird, you know? But, you know, those guys have been probably playing since they were 8, and maybe she wasn't. Because it's more accepted that young guys play games when they're little kids. This is a whole other topic I could rant on. Well, when I'm gaming, Louise, they don't unless I talk. And most of the time, if I'm in a game with strangers, and I'm not like, and I have headphones on to keep the sound down or whatever, or to listen to cues in the game, or I listen for my teammates saying, "Hey, I need help," or whatever, and I'll come and help. So if I talk, they can tell. Sometimes, this is really funny, sometimes they think I'm a 12-year-old boy, and my voice hasn't changed yet. But then you can get kind of harassed a little bit for being a kid. So you just can't win. So it's more that guy, like I will definitely get that. And they don't know I'm 48 and married. You know, that's the funny thing. It's like if they knew that, then they would be like, ew. But I play with a bunch of younger people, guys and girls, and they don't care about my age, and they don't care that I'm male or female. They just think I'm funny, and they don't mind that I'm bad at the game. I play Fortnite, Michelle. I know people are like, "Fortnite, gross," but it's just really fun. I have a lot of fun with it. And then and the one I was getting harassed in the other night was The Last of Us multiplayer. Yeah, so I play The Last of Us. I'm playing The Last of Us multiplayer to get a trophy. I've told you guys this about this. And you have to play 185 games of The Last of Us multiplayer. I know, Michelle. I've never worked so hard for a platinum in my life. Well, I've hardly worked hard for a platinum in any game because I've hardly gamed for very long. But I want that one. I want the bragging rights for that one. That game is so just emotionally amazing, and I really want the platinum before the second one comes out, so I am working on it. But you have to play it. It's this crazy amount of multiplayer, and the multiplayer is really hard. People have been playing it for 5 years. Yeah, the storytelling is amazing. It's so touching. I'm so excited about the second one coming out. I just love it. It's like such a good movie to watch over and over again, you know? So good. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I play. Those two games mostly, and then, what else? That's pretty much it right now. I'm not letting myself play other games until I finish the multiplayer Last of Us to get my platinum. And then I'll probably get another game that is kind of like that, like those single player games with a really emotional, good story, you know? Be so good. But anywho, I could talk gaming for forever because I never get to talk with anybody about it. This red on the screen is just so much. I need to break it up a little bit. All right, so so anyway, we're gonna do the invisible zipper on Saturday. So that's the back. This is the front. Put the skirt on and the pockets. Lickety split. I'm going to do the surging on the skirt too. Oh, you did Red Dead Redemption too? Okay, so here's my deal with that game. You play as the bad guys, right? And I don't know why I have a thing about playing as a bad guy or polling for a character who's the bad guy. But it gets better. It gets better. Okay. Okay. If they're misunderstood bad guys, I understand that. Don't hate it. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, The Last of Us is so good. It's a hard game. I totally cried at the end of that game. Yeah. You didn't like it? I'll bet he did. I'll bet he did. I've definitely watched some gaming streamers play it through the first time, and they were like, what's happening? So good. I was thinking, Michelle, about streaming that, but not on So-So, on my Phoenix account, because I've played the grounded playthrough on that like 6 or 7 times, and I'm actually decent at it, and I have some good tips. And my friends are just seeing me do it all the time, and I think they would like to see a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't want viewers on that, you know. My gaming account on Twitch is Phoenix Tears 18. Very Harry Potter-ish. Oh, yeah, Thea? That's good to know. That's good to know. Try the first Red Dead. He's a bad guy, but he's very likable. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that. I've been craving playing it again. I've watched so many people. I've gotten so many tips from like speedrunners and people who've played it a lot. Yep, Phoenix Tears 18. Like that, exactly. Yeah. Because, the tears of the Phoenix heal. Yeah. And 18's on the end of everything I do. For no good reason except that it's not taken. So... yeah, so that's my Twitch, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I could do it. Yeah. So my PlayStation is that, and sound young makes you sound young, chicken. Oh, right. No, it's because May 18th is my birthday. That's why. That's why I picked 18. Well, it's so funny because a lot of people put their birth year, and so you'll see 02, and I'm like, oh, this kid's my daughter's age. I can tell right out, because they'll be like, they'll be all cagey about when they're born, and I was like, are you born in 2002? And they're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, because 02 is in your username. And they're like, oh, right. Yeah. Okay. What do you play, Michelle? You played Red Dead, and I know it's so obvious when they do that. It's so funny. So I saw, what was the other one I saw the other day? It was really funny. Some of the names are just like so inappropriate. I don't know how they get away with it. I've definitely reported people for their names. Especially if they bullied me. I'm such a mom. So terrible, isn't it? You're at a loss. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Michelle. I know. I've been thinking about playing God of War because I really like the Norse stuff that they have in that. It looks really good. I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I don't know. It's not really drawing me in. And like I said, I really want to play Last of Us and finish it. I just finished Hue. If you like puzzle games, I just got that one. And then, have you played Hellblade? Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice. Play that one. It's amazing. It's not very long. Yep, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I think it finally came out on disc, too. Yeah. You like the Myst kind of games? Then you would probably like that Nintendo game, the Zelda ones, right? I love how YouTube's like, we're out of here. They're just talking about games. And we're just talking on Twitch. Yeah. Sorry. She says, sorry, YouTube. I know. I remember those Myst games that came out. Like, I didn't even know games like that existed, and we played it on an Apple. Remember when the Apple computer was, like, colored on the backside, you guys? Like the, big Apple, and it was, like, IMAX. Remember? Wait. Is that what they were? Was that what it was? Yeah, you had a big pink one. Yeah, we had a big teal one. And we played Riven on there, and that was like a spinoff from Myst. And I was like, what is this? Like, I just do nothing about gaming, Yeah, it was so good. And we would just sit there, me and my husband and his brother, we just sit there playing together. Did you play Heavenly Sword? No, I haven't heard of that. I've hardly played any games, you guys. I'm really new to it. I got into it because of Plants vs. Zombies, too. Like, that's what I played. Garden Warfare 2. Not funny. Which is also a multiplayer shooter. Can't believe I'm still so bad. I'm getting better, though. We should start a gaming crew. Sewers Who Game. I saw some Twitch name the other day, and she had sewing in her name, and I was like, oh, is she a sewing streamer? But she wasn't. She was a gaming streamer. I don't really know why she had sewing. I can't remember what it was, too. I kept looking through all her videos thinking maybe she just does cosplay occasionally because her name was so good. Oh, well. So. Well, yeah, watch. I'll probably play that. I won't play it, the Grounded Last of Us anytime, like, soon. That'd be, I would love that. Yeah, I would love to share playing that game. I love it so much. But I'm going out of town this weekend, and I need to make sure it's still hooked up. Because here's the weird thing is, like, my Phoenix Tears is a sub account, and I'm not sure it'll stream. But Hey Phoenix, I don't have a Twitch for my account now. Hey Phoenix is my current account. So if I create a Twitch name and hook it to Hey Phoenix, I'll let you know. Yeah, it was a PS3 game, and then they remastered it for PS4, and that's how I play. So I've almost platinumed it on both accounts, Michelle. Isn't that crazy? I just have the multiplayer for, like, whatever 7 times 12 is. What is that, like 82 or something like that? I have like 82 games to go on one account and then about 100 to go on the other, and I would have double platinum on that game. So dumb. I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. I just really wanted it on the account I was going to keep, you know. I'm really close, but it's so much grinding, so much work, you guys, and it's so hard and it's so defeating because I'm not so bad. Well, in the multiplayer, no. You do get your stealth, and you do have that listen mode in there. In Grounded, you don't have listen mode. You don't have a health bar in Grounded. You know? So maybe I don't have to play Grounded. I could play any level. Grounded is the hardest one. So yeah, no health bar and no listen mode. And like 2 bullets. Or arrows. I like the arrows. I like a bow and arrow. That's my thing. Yeah. So, I know, crazy, right? Yeah. I know when streamers say, I'm playing Grounded Last of Us, and I see their health bar, I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah, shivs are good. I save all of those for the doors, though. I never use them on enemies. The bow and arrow is my favorite weapon, but you know, you don't hardly get any arrows, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll be back on next Tuesday. I'll be back streaming next week, doing the tea house. I'll be here Saturday. I won't be gone off stream at all, but I will be just delayed a little. You know how trips are. They always kind of, you know, make things take longer. So, well, you guys, thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to my earlier rant about sizing. Share my stream with people. We need to get more people here, you know? And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I'm on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, So Live. You need your emotes. I worked on that. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the gift thing. And Miriam's husband or partner helped me out with a lot of things, and he didn't know how to do it either. So I don't know why it doesn't work. Sorry. Bye, Louise. Thanks for coming. Bye. Good night, Malin. Sleep well. See you Saturday, I hope. My personalized one. I know. We need all the people in there. Exactly. We need more subscribers. Tell your friends. Yeah. So I'm hoping all the things I do on the side are going to fund my stream just because I like doing the stream for fun. You know, I don't want to think about monetizing it or anything yet. Yeah. It's just, I want it to be fun and relaxing. So, but it just means you guys all have to buy my patterns. But I need a graphic artist, so I am putting it out there. If there's a reliable artist, I will definitely consider paying someone if I know they know how to put together, you know, patterns. I have all the information. I have all of everything. Bye, Olivia. Oh, you're going to San Francisco Saturday? Well, wave. I'm going from Chico to Santa Cruz. You have sketchy doodling ability. You can bake bread. Well, that's not, I totally take the bread, you know. Good night, Thea. Thanks for coming. I don't think I taught you very much. I'm not much of a teacher. I just rant and sew. That's me, the sewing ranter, the ranting sewer. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your week. I'll see you Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. The rants and the sewing. Michelle, that's what you're here for. Yeah, well, you'll stay tuned. And we'll finish up the Upton. And maybe I can bring it on my trip. I may need to sew that other stuff, that other yummy fabric I got the other day. So, all right, take care, guys. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.